Welcome into the Farzy Show, presented by Destination Retirement, DestinationRetirement.com. My name is Mark Farzetta, coming to you live as we do every day from the Steven Singer Studios. It's 6 a.m. Hope everyone's having just a wonderful Tuesday morning thus far. And if you're driving to work right now, maybe a little later in the day, hope your day's going great. Hope you got in the car. Hope you got your favorite cup of coffee, a little vanilla creamer maybe treat yourself. I don't know. Maybe you're like me, just have espresso nonstop for the first 2 hours of your day before you do a little talk show. Anyway, we got a lot to get into today. Sixers get another big test with the Bucks going on tonight. 7 o'clock tip-off in South Philadelphia as they return from their West Coast trip. We got Phillies conversation to get into when it comes to a guy named Nick Castellanos hitting bombs at the ballpark in Clearwater, Florida yesterday. We also got Bryson Stott playing all over the field as well as hitting all over the field. And we have the charming words of Howie Roseman, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, the charming words of Howie Roseman when it comes to telling your fan base you're not all in. And I know when we hear that, we should go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. You're not all in. You got a lot of holes to fill. You weren't that good last year. You're still trying to figure out what you have in your starting quarterback, whether he's the franchise guy, whether he's that guy to be another stopgap guy for another year, whatever it might be. So we're not all in. You never really want to hear that from your GM, but that's what we heard yesterday, and most of us read yesterday. We have some quotes from Howie Roseman to show you coming up in just a second, but I also want to tell you that our guest today is all the way from across that pond. That's right, the United Kingdom, a little place called Great Britain, a little place called Southampton, England. Our friend today, our guest today, our friend Dave Shaw will join us from UK Phillies. He's got a lot going on, including, and I didn't know this at the time that we booked him, he's going to be running for Make-A-Wish Foundation in the London Marathon wearing a Phillies uniform. We'll show you the link to, I actually retweeted it, so it's on my timeline right now if people want to see it. If you want to donate to help raise money for Make-A-Wish Foundation, that's what he's running in the London Marathon for, wearing a full-blown Phillies uniform. They even sent him a pair of trousers. Check this out. Here's the picture that I retweeted. It's on my timeline on Twitter right now. And there's the link right above his picture. But I don't know if you can make it out, but he talks about how he just got his trousers in. So he's going to be wearing a pair of trousers while he runs. Like I said, full-blown Phillies uniform. So Dave will be joining us in just a couple of minutes to talk about not just the excitement here in Philadelphia, but the excitement for the Phillies all the way across the Atlantic Ocean in England. So that'll be exciting. It's always great to catch up with him. And it won't be live. Usually when we have him on, he's live, which is like 11 o'clock his time, 11:20 his time over there across that old pond. But apparently work's got a little busy for him, which is always nice. So he'll join us live to tape, as we like to call it in the business, to talk all things Phillies. Let's jump into that Phillies conversation real quick, because I think I'm going to make some adjustments before opening day for the Phillies when it comes to my lineup. Now, we had Ben Verlander on the show last week, and Ben gave my lineup an A-. He didn't say what would have made it an A+, nor did I ask, because I figured leave well enough alone when it comes to my lineup. If he's giving me an A, regardless of an A- to an A+, just leave it alone. Just be happy with that victory, spike the football, and go home. But I think what has to happen is Kyle Schwarber needs to lead off. Two major adjustments I want to make to the lineup. One is Kyle Schwarber needs to lead off. The other major adjustment, Bryson Stott needs to be in the starting lineup. After watching him yesterday with shortstop, second base, and third base all covered, I am convinced this kid needs to be the starting lineup. Now, I say kid. We always think, when we talk about our prospects, maybe not so much in Philadelphia, but anywhere else, if we hear prospect and getting a shot and maybe a rookie, we think 21, 22 years old, maybe they're pushing into their 23. In our Phillies world, this guy's 24, which is only appropriate. I mean, when you think about a guy like Chase Utley, for instance, who wasn't an everyday starter, I believe, till he was about 27 years old. That was by the time they were 26, by the time they traded Polanco away so that Chase Utley could take over the everyday second baseman's role. He was 26 years old. So, yeah, the Phillies like waiting on giving the starting reins to young players. And Bryson Stott hopefully is no exception. However, he's 24 years old. I would love for him to get the opportunity to prove himself at the big league level. Alec Boehm had a nice grab for himself yesterday, but I feel like Alec Boehm's going to have to do a lot to try to take back those reins as either a starting third baseman or a guy that'll be a regular DH for you in this lineup, or a guy to fill in for Rhys Hoskins at first base occasionally throughout the season. But now, in the designated hitter role, he's going to be competing with the likes of Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, occasionally Rhys Hoskins, occasionally JT Real Muto in that spot. So there's a lot of competition there. And now at the first base spot, he's going to be competing with the likes of Rhys Hoskins still, and also JT Real Muto and the opportunities he might have to play the first base bag. So there's a lot of competition in front of Alec Boehm right now. And I know that they're optimistic that Kevin Long can fix that swing for Alec Boehm, and I hope that's the case because I'm certainly not rooting against the guy. But now there's another young hot shot sitting there waiting to get on that Phillies roster, and that's Bryson Stott. And Stott has the support of one key member of the Philadelphia Phillies, a guy that's only the reigning NL MVP in Bryce Harper. So Stott has been doing great so far this spring. He is showing his versatility. But I asked the Phillies this one thing. I asked the Phillies to do us all a favor. Please don't do the thing that you've done with many other prospects over the years, whether that's Cody Ashley or whether that's Scott Kingery more recently. Don't do the thing that you always do where you take him and put him in one position, or you watch him rise through the minor league system in one position and you say, hey, all that was great. Now do something totally different. Don't ruin these guys. I've talked about it before with Scott Kingery. I've talked about it even going back through the Cody Ashley days where we thought we had a third baseman of the future. Next thing you know, the Phillies are like, get in left field. Or you have Rhys Hoskins coming up playing first base. Get in left field. Scott Kingery, natural second baseman. Let's try him at short. Let's try him at third. Let's put him at center. Please don't do this with Bryson Stott. Let him get comfortable at one position. I love the idea that this guy might have a mindset of a JT Real Muto who was a catcher and just said all of a sudden, well, I don't want to be out of the starting lineup today, so put me at first. You've never played first. What's your point? Like, not everybody has that mindset in baseball. These guys are the weirdest athletes of them all. They are creatures of habit. Some guys have that JT Real Muto mindset, but they are few and miles in between. When it comes to Bryson Stott, if he's got that mindset, good for him, man. That's great. But I wouldn't want to test it, at least not early. If this guy can come up and show that he could even be a top of the order hitter, show that he could be a more than serviceable fielder, show versatility, and where he's able to play in the field, great. But just let him get comfortable somewhere. Don't say, I just want to keep on getting him at bats. Because what often happens is, I believe what happened with a guy like Scott Kingery, or even going back to Ashley, for instance, is you start moving these guys around and their mistakes in the field make them press at the plate. Okay, well, I can get to the plate and be where I'm most comfortable, so I know I can make something happen then. And then when they don't, it's like, well, what good am I now at the major league level? And how's that worked out for the Phillies? It hasn't. You haven't been able to groom yourself a regular all-star in quite some time. So whatever their approach has been, that needs to change. And it needs to change right now with Bryson Stott. And watching these guys come up and not be able to fulfill the prophecy, or not being able to fulfill the great expectations that we put upon some of these guys. Maikel Franco being another one of them. This is something that needs to be corrected sooner rather than later. I know the Phillies have changed over their director of player scouting, the director of player development, and they got a new cast of characters coming into this year trying to make these young prospects into something special. That starts right now in terms of trying to make them better. But in terms of what you have done so far with a lot of these prospects, just hands off. Let them develop in the spots that you've seen them develop throughout the year. Even if Bryson Stott's coming up as a shortstop and you have an opening at third base, let him play third base, keep him to third base. Sure, every once in a while, you'll keep moving him to shortstop. If DD needs a break, whatever it might be, fine, move him over. You can play shortstop. I think you can play anywhere in baseball. But that's one position right now that if the Phillies are going to put Bryson Stott on the field and have him as an opening day starter, it's somewhere in this lineup, somewhere on the field, somewhere in this lineup, just let him get comfortable somewhere before you start jerking him all over the field. Watching him yesterday, and then also listening, if you didn't see it, it's great. Nick Castellanos is in the dugout after his moonshot of a home run. Later in the game, he's in the dugout. He's getting interviewed by NBC Sports Philadelphia by the broadcast crew. And they're just talking. They're chatting it up a little bit. And there's a line drive hit to second base where Bryson Stott's playing. He leaps in the air, comes down with it. And Nick Castellanos just, hey, few words sometimes are better. And he said it perfectly. He's good. He's really good. And I'm thinking, he's caught Castellanos' eye already with a play like that. And having the endorsement of Bryce Harper certainly helps move things along a little bit. And it wouldn't surprise me if Bryce Harper, who ended the season last year, if you don't remember, ended the season last year talking about how the Phillies needed to groom prospects and get a better farm system to pluck talent from. Well, who's there at the farm system? Who's there in that farm system? Bryson Stott, another Vegas guy, a guy that Bryce Harper has taken under his wing for the last couple of years here in Philadelphia, and a guy that I know he'd love to see sooner rather than later as a regular at the big league level. Phillies get a nice win yesterday over the Orioles. Always nice to see. Castellanos homered, like I mentioned. Kyle Schwarber homered also in that game, and Bryson Stott hit the ball all over the field. So that for me. Oh, and I never get tired of this. I know we always want our players to be competitive, but if they're not competitive in spring training, I get it. Like you're working on your own thing. It's not about winning. It's not necessarily about production. It's just about trying to get comfortable, maybe a new approach to the plate, whatever it might be. But Bryce Harper yesterday strikes out and has words for the home plate umpire in the spring training game against the Orioles. And I'm thinking, yeah, man, keep bringing that. That's the energy we all want. That's the energy we all need. Having you argue with the home plate umpire over balls and strikes in spring training. Keep that coming, Bryce. That's the intensity we want to see. So hopefully we'll see the Phillies continue to groom some talent as well and get ready for the season to start in less than 2 weeks. How insane is that? If you didn't see Howie Roseman's comments yesterday, he's a real charmer. Let me tell you that. Howie Roseman, and this is by way of Jeff McClain of Inquirer.com, was asked about the approach they're going to have in this offseason. Now, they haven't really done much, as you know. Zach Pascal, they brought in White, obviously, from the Chargers to be their middle linebacker now. And they brought in their biggest offseason acquisition to this point, Hassan Reddick, which is nice. But here's Howie Roseman's comments yesterday at the NFL owners' meetings. In a beautiful scene, people were posting pictures of this. I saw Jimmy Kempski looking relaxed, Jeff McClain out there. Saw Dave Spadaro just hanging out. A beautiful scene interviewing Howie Roseman, and his back is to the gorgeous Atlantic Ocean. It was just a pristine shot. And this is what Howie had to tell reporters yesterday about his offseason approach. I look at team building. That's what we're doing right now. We're building. We're not in the go for it situation, all in situation. We have too many resources. We have too many good young players to be like that. Whenever you see we're not in the go for it situation, we're not in the all in situation, you know what that tells me? That tells me you don't have faith in your quarterback. And although he said exactly the opposite, and if you read Jeff McClain's article at Inquirer.com, you see the quotes there where he talks about, oh, no, we're all in on Jalen. We love Jalen. Jalen's great. He's our quarterback. He's our guy. Like, I don't believe you. Your offensive line ain't young. Your defensive line ain't young. Your secondary isn't young. I mean, Zach McPherson will be going into his sophomore season. We'll see what he can bring to the table as a starter. Right now, that's where it looks like he'll be. But you're talking about not being all in. That mainly comes down to not having faith in your quarterback and also not having faith in your defense. Yes, I believe that the Eagles have holes to fill. We all know that. When you look at what they did last year, yes, they made it to the playoffs, but we all know they have some big gaping holes in this team, in this roster. So Howie's not wrong in saying that they need to build. They need to be better, obviously, and they can't go all in. But as a GM, why would you ever admit that you can't go all in? Like, even if you take those words and twist them a little bit, it makes more sense and gives people a little bit more hope. Like, hey, we're always all in on making this team as good as possible going into a season. Like, that's the way to spin that. But I think everybody knows through your actions so far this offseason that you're not all in, like Super Bowl bound or bust this year. I think people know that. But when you talk about going all in, all we want to know is you're trying to put this team, the best possible team together going into this season. But everything right now, when you say that phrase, and here it is one more time, when you say this phrase, we're not in a go for it situation, all in situation, it makes it feel like, all right, we'll guess and test. We'll throw this against the wall and see how we do here. Oh, what do we got here? 9-8 season? Okay, we'll see how that goes. Like, for me, it's along the same lines of an Andy McPhail. If we don't, we don't. Hey, maybe we'll go into the season and we'll be good. Huh? Maybe we'll go into this season and we'll be another playoff team. A Super Bowl contender. I mean, let's not get crazy, okay? For me, this comes down, if you feel like you really do have a quarterback, it comes down to whether or not you feel like that quarterback can mask the holes that you have on this team. We talk about great athletes in every single sport. No better example than goaltenders in hockey. No better example than quarterbacks in football. Masking the problems you have, being that good deodorant for the other things on the team that really stink. And if you think you have that in a quarterback, you're not talking about, well, we can't be all in. Let's not get crazy here. This, to me, is mostly about the quarterback. Yes, it's about other things on the roster, but if you believe you have that franchise guy, you believe that guy can take care of the other problems you have on this team. We've talked about a lot in baseball. Can this lineup mask the mistakes that are going to be made by the starting rotation, by a bullpen, by the defense overall with the Phillies? We look at it the same way in football when you talk about a quarterback. We know they're going to have the offensive line. Are they going to have the quarterback? Are they going to have the wide receivers they need? Is Pascal really going to be that much of a difference, that much of an upgrade over what you have already? It'll be an upgrade, certainly more than Jalen Reagor as far as I'm concerned. But as far as being the guy that's going to change the outlook of this offense, absolutely not. It has been a very, very, very mild offseason by all accounts for the Philadelphia Eagles thus far, with the exception of bringing in Hassan Reddick. So for me, I don't want to hear from a GM that we're not all in, that we're not in a go-for-it situation. Save that conversation for the trade deadline. You still got a whole off season here, and you still don't know what you're doing with those those 3 first-round picks. I never seem to be able to say that right. Those 3 first-round picks. And I also get his philosophy, and this to me I think makes even a little bit more sense here. And this is one more quote I want to show you from Howie. This is also from Jeff McClain's story. When you have the amount of high picks that we have, we don't want to block these players from any playing time. So we won't want to get in a situation where we're drafting guys in the first, second, and even sometimes the third rounds, and we don't have the ability to play them because we're wasting a contract year. This is about bringing in other free agents. If you bring in a big-name wide receiver, if you bring in a guy like Juju, for instance, who they can't because now he's obviously with the Kansas City Chiefs, but then they can't go out and they can't draft a wide receiver because they don't want to take away playing time from that guy who they're drafting and using a first-round pick on because they just signed Juju Smith-Schuster, for instance. So for me, that makes more sense than even the can't go all in, can't go for it situation that Howie was alluding to earlier. That one right there actually makes sense to me. Because if you're drafting somebody in the first round, especially if you're taking 3 first-round picks, which I've told you many times I don't think the Eagles are going to do. But if they do take 3 first-round picks, then that's a lot of money tied up in 3 players that you don't know how they're going to work out. But one thing's for damn sure. If you're drafting in the first round, that guy's got to start. That's the most general rule of thumb in the NFL. You're drafted in the first round, that guy's your starter. So if you're drafting 3 starters, you don't want to also go out there and sign guys when you already have the worst cap situation over the last 2 years in terms of dead money in the NFL. You don't want to go out there and spend more money in free agency when you ultimately might put that guy on the bench because of who you drafted. Yeah, some might say, sure, well, protect yourself. If it doesn't work out the way you want in the draft, at least you got the guy you wanted in free agency. Yeah, but why would I end up wasting that money or wasting the pick? I'm guaranteed a loss in that situation. Why would I want to do that? So that's something that Howie said yesterday that I actually agree with. See what you're going to get in this draft. Now, the problem with Howie, and the problem that some of you are probably thinking right now, is that Howie's draft record hasn't exactly been that great. And if you're going to upgrade the wide receiver position beyond a guy like Pascal, for instance, then maybe the draft isn't Howie's strong suit in that regard. Maybe go out there and get another free agent. Maybe go out there and make a trade. Maybe Juju Smith-Schuster was the guy you should have actually brought in to begin with. That would have been nice. Howie's not thinking that way. In all honesty, I don't see the Eagles going big with wide receiver in the draft. I see them actually taking 2 defensive players and, as I've said many times, flipping a pick to next year to hedge their bets on Jalen Hurts. And if you're looking for that confidence in Jalen Hurts, say that you're not all in with a guy who's going to be a third-year quarterback in the NFL, second-year starter, and some change with how the Carson Wentz era ended, it's not a lot of confidence in the quarterback. And I know some people might look at that and go, well, of course not. What's the quarterback going to do? Well, the quarterback's going to mask a lot of your problems. That's what a franchise guy is going to do. And right now, the Eagles, I don't think, are looking at Jalen Hurts in that regard. And I think one thing is all but a guarantee. If the Eagles do, in fact, flip a pick to next year for the in the first round, it's just another year of Jalen Hurts competing against another draft class and at least 2 first-round picks that he'll be competing against by how he has to play next year. Jalen's up against it, man, as per usual. As per usual. No matter what this team says, and Howie Roseman even said that, I think he was asked a question about wavering on Jalen Hurts. And he said, I'm not wavering on Jalen Hurts. We're not wavering. We've stayed the same the entire time when it comes to Jalen. Not according to people that are really in the know. Like a guy who just talked to Russell Wilson right before he went to Denver. Philly was out of it. That Philly offered, he didn't want to go there. Yeah, I don't think that's really a big endorsement of Jalen Hurts when you're already flirting with a guy like Russell Wilson. So for me, I think that's a rather entertaining point that Howie brought up. So we'll get more into that, obviously, as the offseason goes on. We're looking at it right now. A month from now, we're getting into the NFL draft. So it's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. I look forward to all the anticipation, all the speculation, just going away and figuring out what the Eagles are finally going to do with those 3 first-round picks. So we'll cross our fingers with that sooner rather than later. I see we have a Howie Roseman in the chat now. Okay. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. There was one more thing I wanted to get to. Oh, this is great. Actually, no, before I get to this, because I'll go to this and then I'll go to our man Dave from UK Phillies. The 76ers have a huge test in front of them. After playing the first place in all the NBA, Phoenix Suns, and putting up a fight before things spiraled out of control in the second half, they got another huge test tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. And this is a game, I think, for lack of a better term, is a must-win for our own mental state going into the playoffs. Struggled against the Suns, obviously couldn't come up with that win. Took care of business for the most part on that West Coast trip, which was great to see. You saw this team beat the Miami Heat, who only just won again after a 4-game skid that I believe started with the 76ers and Tyrese Maxey and Furkan Korkmaz making plays on them. They led to the Heat going off on one another on the bench, which was just hilarious to see. They finally won again yesterday. They're back in first place. Celtics lost. I don't think Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum played yesterday. So now the Sixers are now, I believe, in another 3-way tie for second place in the Eastern Conference. Heat are right back up there on top. This is a game that I'd like to see the Sixers establish themselves again as a legit Eastern Conference number 1 seed going into the playoffs. And I know some people are looking at the standings right now. They're thinking about the Brooklyn Nets and how they don't want to face them in the first round. There could be another first-round exit for the Sixers. Just be the best team. Just be the best team. I'm not saying they have to strive for the first-place spot in the Eastern Conference. I mean, that'd be nice because that means you're just striving to win. That's ultimately what you want from any team. But just show me you can beat the Bucks. Show me this James Harden, Joel Embiid Sixers team. Tyrese Maxey playing at this level, Tobias Harris getting back to the level that we've seen him play sporadically throughout the season. Show me you can get back to that. Show me this bench can continue to get points that they weren't getting you earlier in the season. Show me all that clicking on all cylinders against the reigning NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Show me that tonight. Joel Embiid, James Harden, lead this team to a win. Make us feel a lot better about whatever seed they get, whoever they're going to be matched up against. Show us you can take care of business against the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, beat up on the reigning champions, and give us all the warm and fuzzy feelings, the puppy dogs and ice cream and unicorns feeling going into the playoffs. Show us that tonight. Please. Make us all feel a lot better about everything. Please. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a wild we haven't talked about women's basketball. We've talked about NCAA tournament. We haven't talked about women's basketball on this show. The UConn game against NC State was insane last night. Double overtime. UConn came up with the win. As great as UConn has been, 0-5 in the history of the program in overtime. They won yesterday in overtime against NC State. That's amazing. But before we get to our guest today, I wanted to make sure I got this in our opening segment. I want to make sure I get this young lady's name right for Louisville. Louisville beat Michigan yesterday, 62-50 in the Elite Eight of the women's tournament. So they're on to the Final Four. Haley Von Leith, I believe is how you say her name. She had 22 points against Michigan. After the game, apparently she has a real close relationship with Kobe Bryant, had a very close relationship with Kobe Bryant. And after the game on ESPN, she was asked about what Kobe would say to her, and I'll just let it play out right here.
You had a great relationship with the late, great, iconic Kobe Bryant and his daughter, Gigi. What do you think he would say to you in this moment?
He would say, go and win this shit, Haley. That's what he would say. We not done. That's what he would say right there.
No lies detected, as the kids would say. I saw that, and that was just the icing on the cake. That was just, I thought, a great quote and extremely accurate as to what Kobe Bryant would tell her. But the whole interview that I saw with her, like, the energy and the excitement from her was contagious. Like, I was, like, sitting on the edge of my seat just watching the interview, just being like, this is almost as good as the game. This is insane. But I wish them nothing but luck to Louisville. I'm not a huge college basketball fan in general, but seeing the excitement that was surrounding those games last night and then seeing some of the post-game interviews, hers is the one that jumped out to me the most. Congrats to Louisville and good luck as they push on to the Final Four there. So that was pretty wild. Ladies and gentlemen, let me... All right, are we just changing names here? Is this Dan Schwartz just going bonkers in the chat today? All right, we'll get to everything coming up in the chat check a little bit later. But let me tell you right now, before we get to our man Dan Shaw from UK Phillies, let me tell you about Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. My man, Michael Seibert. Mike Seibert is a retirement income certified professional. He's a financial advisor for Eagles and Sixers fans only. His firm, Destination Retirement LLC, is a full-service planning firm and a partner of 1847 Financial. Mike helps clients with their accumulation years as well as their distribution years. What's the difference? Oh, man, a lot. Have you figured out how much you'll need per month when you retire? How much of your retirement income would you like guaranteed no matter what? Do you want to protect any assets from downside market risk? Do you have a written plan in place? Mike Seibert's here to help you out. If you have questions, if you need answers, if you have assets of $250,000 or more, Mike will create a written plan to help offset your retirement expenses free of charge using software from Retirement Analyzer. He usually charges $1,999. So act now. Your plan will help show how you can offset your retirement expenses, what to do in a volatile market, and also help you minimize taxes. With over 30 years of experience in the financial game, Mike is committed to helping Eagles and Sixers fans get to and through retirement. You can reach Mike at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. Or visit destinationretirement.com. That's destinationretirement.com. Click on Find Out at the top of the page and fill out the questionnaire to see how prepared you are for retirement and to sign up for his newsletter as well. So make sure you do that, and Mike will get back to you and talk to you about how he can help. Go Birds, and as always, play the song. It'd be especially nice to play the song after tonight, after beating the Bucks. That's what we're hoping for. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Every day, the perfect price at IHateStevenSinger.com and Steven Singer Jewelers right there on Jewelers Row in Philadelphia. Steven has been in the love business for over 40 years in Philadelphia, helping Philadelphia fall in love and get engaged. Some people might say, I hate Steven Singer. You know why they say that? Two reasons. One, they're either another jeweler that just marks things way up just to mark it down in front of you. It's all part of the game. Don't play the game. You don't want to have to go into a place worrying about negotiating. You should just worry about whether you want what kind of type of diamond you want to buy. And that's what Steven Singer provides. Now, I hate Steven Singer. Those other jewelers all hate him because he doesn't mark things way up like they do. The other people that say I hate Steven Singer, the people that put off getting engaged because it's so complicated to buy a diamond. Well, at Steven Singer Jewelers, he throws every excuse out the window. affordable pricing, perfect price every single time at Steven Singer Jewelers, and you get taken care of like your family by a real jewelry expert at the other corner of 8th and Walnut. So do what I do when it comes to all your jewelry purchases. Go see my man Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day. IHateStevenSinger.com. IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. We're going to talk to a friend of the show. We haven't had him on in a while. Dave Shaw from UK Phillies joins us to talk all things Phillies from across the Atlantic Ocean. How about that? And joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line from all the way across that pond we call the Atlantic Ocean, our man Dave Shaw. What's going on, Dave? How you been, brother?
Mark, I'm good. I can't stop smiling. I cannot stop smiling. I'm watching spring training games. I'm getting sucked right back in. Hype's through the roof, Mark.
That's fantastic. I just want to, obviously, if people don't follow you on Twitter already, make sure you're following my man Dave. Also follow him at UK Phillies. You can see it going across the scroll as well. So make sure you listen to, make sure you guys are following him, and then also listening to him as you're doing a podcast as well.
That's right. That's right. Me and Alex Carr we've been putting for a couple of years now, but we're really hitting it hard this year. We've had some really good listening figures coming through the back end last year. So this year we're going to go commit every week. This year we're going to pod. And Mark, we can reverse the roles. If you're ever free, you want to come on, it'd be great to have you on.
For you? What, are you kidding me? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd be happy to come on and talk baseball.
Yes, Mark, we'll arrange that. Absolutely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime. We do. I'd love to come on. Just one thing. Do I have to refer to my pants as trousers? Because I saw that you posted this video.
Man, everyone's been. I've had so many DMs going, so pants, trousers? Yeah. So, you take pants over here, that's underwear. So, you get some funny looks if you're saying I'm going to run around in my Phillies pants. I can't.
Yeah. I just ironically today I have my cousin who lives in London now. She's coming over, and yeah, she's in the States visiting and all. And one of the things I was over in London about 5 years ago, and maybe you could verify this. Maybe people were just messing with a Yankee such as myself, but they were trying to tell me there's an expression in Great Britain called like pants, like oh that is pants, like something's fun.
Yeah, it means it's rubbish. It's bad. It's crap. The Phillies bullpen is sometimes, a lot of time, pants. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Thank you. Now, you had said that baseball has pulled you in again. The spring training has pulled you in again. Obviously, this lineup has got you excited, man. What has been your reaction to Castellanos as well as Kyle Schwarber coming into this team?
Oh, I didn't believe it would happen. Like people were saying, we will go over luxury tax. And I was thinking, we won't. We're not going to do it. We get Schwarber, and then that's going to be it. But when it broke, the news broke, we got Castellanos. Oh, man. I haven't stopped smiling. And then ever since then, the guys in spring, the bats have taken off. And I know it's only spring, but this already feels different because they know their places are up for grabs. You know, the center field battle is really hot. Who's going to play third base? That all of a sudden that's opened up. Bryson Stott's come out of nowhere. These guys are hustling in spring. You never saw that in previous springs. The guys that be sort of laid back, taking it easy, enjoying the Florida sun. They look on it straight away. They look like they want to win from the word go. And I'm loving the attitude in spring. I'm loving the new Phillies way that they're bringing in off the field with the out of team moves. Preston Mattingly, brilliant. Get Kevin Long. Brilliant. I think this is, I say it every year, this is the year we break the postseason drought. This is the year.
I got to say, I'm with you. And we've seen good lineups put together in the past with the Phillies, but not like this. Not to the likes of Nick Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, already joining the likes of Bryce Harper, and then hopefully a bounce back year from Rhys Hoskins and JT Realmuto. Didi Gregorius needs to get healthy. And you said the name that has a lot of people here locally excited. Bryson Stott has a great play at second base at the time we taped this just a few hours ago in the spring training game and their win. So this, to me, people are excited about that name, Bryson Stott, and they're excited to see a young influence from him in this lineup as well.
Yeah, and, with his best buddy Bryce, his roommate behind him, for me, you've got to play the players who are swinging a hot bat. Alec, I think, needs to go back to the minors and just refine himself. Refine the Alec that came up a couple of years ago and set the world of Philadelphia and baseball alight. Stott's doing it right now. He's got the hot bat. It's a no-brainer. You want to win games. You want kids who are hot. That when they brought Nicky Maton, Luke Williams up last year, they swung the hot bat. That's what you got to do. You got to keep playing the players who have got that hot bat, who want to play. This guy's hungry. That play minutes. They were interviewing Castellanos when Stott made that play at second, and Castellanos was going, he's good. He's really good. He's not just catching our eyes. He's catching Girardi's eyes, catching the players' eyes. I'm just waxing lyrical about Bryson Stott. I love this kid. This kid looks legit. I know we've been there with Kinga and we've been there with Alec Bohm, but okay, caution to the wind. There should be, but I can't help myself. This guy looks legit, and I think he's going to stick around.
I'm with you there. Obviously, you're like me in terms of as optimistic and as excited you are for the lineup. The pitching staff. Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler already on the mend. Hopefully he'll be able to start the season. Probably not. But where are you on what version of Aaron Nola we will get this year?
Obviously, we all want to see a bounce back Nola. It's just the hard contact he gives up. Every hit seems to be a home run, even in the spring so far. But no, this time, with Suarez emerging, Wheeler, Cy Young, and he's got competition for that 1-2 in the rotation, and with the team, the offense now behind him, that's got to pick him up. Surely, this is a big year for Aaron Nola. He's going to know that. He looks laid back, cool, calm on the mound, and I think deep down, he's got to know it. I hope he knows it. That we need a good Aaron Nola. We are relying heavily on our pitching to back up that offense. We need a good Nola. Glass half full, I think it'll be better than last year, but where it's going to be, I don't. Every time I say Nola's going to bounce back and we're going to get a better Nola, it just sort of dips you back down. So I'm a bit feet on the ground with Aaron, but I do think we will see some sort of bounce back from him. We've got to. We need it.
Yeah. I definitely don't need him to be pants again because we've seen way too many way too much pants.
We do not want Aaron Nola's pants.
I have to ask you this as well. The designated hitter. Now, you are amongst a lot of us. You're a newly minted Phillies fan. Certainly, you've spent 10 years plus rooting for this team, as we know the story. Yeah. Designated hitter. Is it something that took you a while to understand and be like, hold on a second, why is it the pitcher batting? And now that it's gone, are you welcoming it with open arms to the National League?
Round, doesn't it? Because we can just our lineup, we can just keep hitting, keep the chains moving. So many times, although saying that, Wheeler got a few hits last year, but so often than not, it's a rally killer. This time with the depth, we could have Segura batting down there, and then Vierling, if he plays, he can hit. The whole team can hit right now, and long may it continue. So we should be in for we could be in for some big innings this year with a DH. Yeah, it's going to favor us. It's going to, whether we like it or not, it's here. And we have some great DH candidates in the team.
Certainly do. When it comes to going over that luxury tax, it is something like, I never thought I'd see the Eagles win a Super Bowl. It happened. I never even thought I'd see the Phillies win a World Series. It happened in my lifetime. It's amazing. And then, obviously, I never thought I'd see the Phillies go over the luxury tax. It has happened, and I'm almost just as shocked as everything else.
Right, and it just opens up so many avenues. Trade deadline. We don't need to trade for, the outer edges of players on, who are fighting to play in mediocre teams. We need a reliever. We've got pieces to go out and get it. We're already on the luxury tax. So that opens up a whole new option and possibly exciting options, especially, and hopefully we are, in the mix come trade deadline. I like to think we're maybe not done yet as well at the moment. A's are offloading pitches. I'd like to think we're in the conversation with a package of probably Marchand. We've got so many catches, so many good catches. Marchand could be on the trade block. It'd be exciting if we could just had one more piece, wouldn't it, to finish off this off season? But over the luxury tax, you know what? Like I said, when people were saying it, I was like, yeah, we could, but we won't. Deep down thinking we're not going to do it. We're going to trail behind the Braves and the Mets and the Marlins will be on our back. And now we're over it. And now Castellanos is here and Schwarber's here. And after the whole off season we've had, where the whole politics of baseball nearly took me out the sport, it was getting me depressed. It was a side of baseball that we didn't all need to see, because over here in Europe, you don't have sport negotiations like that broadcasted all over your social media, all over television. It's all behind closed doors. This felt like it was MLB airing its dirty laundry, and the players, and it just got ugly. And I don't like seeing that side of sport. It sort of puts me off. So, and then it was going on and canceling opening day, and it just sort of sucked me out. And now here I am, I'm through the roof.
Yeah, I explained to my audience that it feels for me, it's like the line from Godfather 3, and I know that's not a very quotable movie, but it's like, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. And you get Castellanos, you get Schwarber, obviously, you get these guys in the lineup, and all of a sudden I am right back to the excitement for the Phillies. Baseball can still go to hell, but the Phillies, baby, that's what I'm excited about.
Right, I genuinely. So I've been following since 2012, as many of you know. I have not been this. I was excited when Harper signed, and we had that opening series against the Braves, which was out of this world. And then I thought, whoa, hold on a minute, we are legit contenders. But this is topping that. This is we've got potential 6-7 all-star players in our team this year. We've got potentially 4 players who could go over 40 home runs this year. Schwarber could absolutely light it up at Citizens Bank. It's the possibilities with this team and this offense is endless.
I couldn't agree more. So you think the drought ends this year? Are you confident the Phillies will end that drought? If so, wild card, or dare I say, win the NL East?
Mark, I have booked time off work in October in good hope that we're going to be in the postseason. I'm going to be there witnessing my first Red October. That's beautiful to hear. I don't care. I just want to see Red October. I've never seen it, and I hear the stories, and I watch the videos, and I hear everyone's accounts, and their eyes light up when they talk about how good the glory days were, and how good Citizens Bank is and Philly is when the Phillies are in the postseason. I need it. I am longing for those days, Mark. I need it. I need to experience it. It means a lot to me, and I am looking at flights for October. This year, man, it's got to happen.
I imagine this. I just want to go back to the signings one more time. My World Cup team is the Italians, and in the Euro, I root for the Italians. My dad's family is from Italy, and I find it that I root for them more than anything. They obviously didn't make the World Cup when they lost to whatever it was, East Macedonia or whatever the hell. I was looking at my phone going, damn it, come on. And everyone's like, what are you upset about? And I'm like, oh, World Cup qualifiers. And they're like, whatever. What was your reaction, and what was the people's reaction around you when you saw the Phillies got those guys?
Getting knocked out. Ooh. It was, you know what? The UK in sport in general loves an underdog. So just the fact that Macedonia have qualified for the World Cup was awesome, But to beat Italy?
Yeah.
The smiling faces at work the next day, like the Italians are out. It'd be a big shock if America followed as well. They've got a big game, World Cup qualifiers coming up.
Yeah.
As are Scotland and Wales, actually, as well. They could face each other for the final spot in the World Cup. But, we're sitting comfortably in the World Cup waiting for the draw and seeing the Italians out. Yeah, it was a lot of smiles, a lot of... Uh-oh.
Okay, all right. Now back to Castellanos and Schwarber.
Yeah, that's it. Team Phillies, come on.
So, what do you have to explain to people how big a deal that is for your team to get those 2 players?
Well, over here?
Yeah.
Not at work, because they often know the mood I'm in when I first go into work on a weekday morning. They know what's happened already, so they know I'm big on Philly. Do they know the big deal? Yeah, hell they do. Yeah. They don't. Do they care? That's a different question. I don't think they do quite, but they feign an interest. Same as my friends, but it's good because again, I love getting interest in baseball here in the UK. Me talking about it to my friends has actually got them interested. They're actually paying attention to the off season this year. They're although they're diverting attention away to New York, which I'm not too happy about. But you know, who's his DeGrom and Scherzer? Doesn't matter. Come back south. You know. But it's just nice in general to get people. I'll talk baseball to anybody in the UK that pays any sort of interest, just to try and get them on board. It's all about growing the sport here in general. So yeah, do they know it's a big deal? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Awesome. Let me ask you this real quick. Where can I listen to your podcast? And what have you enjoyed over the last couple of years most about hosting your own show?
Oh man. So Broad Street to Britain, UK Phillies podcast, available on all your podcast outlets. There it is. What I enjoy, just talking baseball, just talking Phillies, and realizing that there's so many people that share my enthusiasm, you know, and connecting with people, you know, asking every show before the show, me and Alex go on air. People for their questions and comments. We'll try and make it a fans show. And it's just amazing how many people interact and want to know things. And Alex's insight into the Phillies is incredible. You know, he's just been signed by the Sports Illustrated to write for them for the Phillies. So that's exciting for him, and it's great to have him on board. And we're both glass half full Phillies fans. We're both ever the optimists, so we bounce off each other, and it's great fun. Just talking Phils and either venting about the week that's just happened, or poor Septembers that we get off our chest, you know. But it's just fun. It's just great fun being able to talk Phillies baseball with anybody.
That's awesome. Well, everyone needs to give it a listen. Here's where you can follow UK Phillies, obviously on Twitter, and I'll also follow my man Dave as well. And then, you know, whenever he posts these like Instagram modeling pics, you know, you can do that too.
That's right. And guys, if you can, there's a link on there if you can donate as well to Make-A-Wish Foundation, because I'll be running the London Marathon and Southampton Half in full Phillies gear, all for the Make-A-Wish charity foundation. So guys, if you could donate, follow the link on that tweet right there. It'd be awesome.
We will make sure to post that as well. And good for you, man. What a great cause. And you represent Philly across the pond better than anybody, my friend. Thanks so much for calling on, Dave. Great catching up.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Dave Shaw joining us on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line. Y'all's people are crazy. Following that chat throughout the interview, y'all's people are crazy. You know that, right? But I love each and every one of you. Let me just tell you that. Almost as much as I love Dave. It's always great to talk to that guy. It's wild. First off, the fact that he's already booked vacation for October, that's confidence, baby. Gas prices ain't going down anytime soon. You know what that means? Airline prices are not going down anytime soon. My man's already booking vacation. Hopefully be here in Philadelphia when the Phillies make it into the playoffs this year, breaking that 10-year drought. And think about it. Dave jumped on, I don't want to say he jumped on the bandwagon by any means, but Dave became a Phillies fan in 2012. So he literally has not been able to enjoy a run that we were able to enjoy with the Phillies, for instance, from 2007 to 2012, essentially. So for me, I'm pumped. I'm excited for him. I saw you guys referencing how his excitement is contagious, and it absolutely is. I will say, and Alyssa, I think you said it in the chat, hearing baseball conversation in a British accent is something that every single time is like, huh? Like, what? It takes me to two things. One, I remember being in Amsterdam. I was sitting at a bar with a buddy of mine, and there was like a baseball game on in Amsterdam, like an American baseball game. Well, like there's any other kind of well, I guess Japanese league, Korean league. There's a lot of other baseball. Anyway, and I'm watching it, and this British fella next to me was like, you know, in this, I can't do a British accent that's appropriate. He's like, "Hey, governor," whatever. All right, so he starts talking to me about like David Ortiz. He starts talking to me about like he's apparently a Red Sox fan from London, and it was my first exposure to hearing somebody with an accent talk about baseball. And it was just like, I thought nobody else was into this but us. But okay, cool. And he played like fantasy baseball, and he was running players by me and stuff like that. It was wild. And then just overall, I saw somebody ask if I'm going to be visiting him when I'm over in London. Probably not, unfortunately. It's going to be our first long trip away from the kids. So my wife doesn't really want to go away that long. So I think we're going to do the wedding, which is just north of London. And my cousin Christina is actually coming over today. Can't wait to see her. I haven't seen her in years. She's coming over today with her daughter. She has a little daughter, Ruby, who's adorable. And my son and her and Ruby will meet, and my daughter will meet their new cousin, which is great. So they're coming over today, and I'm really excited for it. But yeah, that's who we're going over to London for the wedding in June. So we're looking forward to that. But so we're doing London, and then probably go and take the train, which is just amazing to me to even say that. Take the train to Paris for like 2 days, and then fly back to the U.S. So that'll probably be the rundown. So I don't know if we'll have time to see Dave. I would love to. I'd love to do an on-site interview with Dave. Maybe watch a game. But I don't think it'll be an easy sell to my wife to be like, yeah, baby, so we flew over here and I'm going to go hang out and talk Phillies with somebody. I don't think I think that's going to fly well in the house, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, great to catch up with him. Awesome dude. Absolutely awesome dude. And make sure you guys check my Twitter timeline because you can see how you could donate for his cause for the London Marathon for him to wear the Phillies uniform while he's running in that. So there you go. But hey, that was the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you about the great people of Rothman Orthopedics. Speaking of the missus, she now wants to go see the people of Rothman because she's having a very similar neck issue that I was having. Neck and shoulder for me. It's mostly just neck for her. She needs a little help from the good people of Rothman Orthopedics. Maybe you have a fickle hip, maybe a finicky knee, whatever it might be. See the people of Rothman Orthopedics because the Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you, back to running, back to working, back to playing, back to living your life the way you want. With same-day appointments available, you can start today at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. How about the good people of Windview? Seeing the Sixers right now, -1.5 favorites against the Bucks tonight. If you have a friend or family member who thinks they know everything about sports, download the WinView app to your phone and challenge them to a WinView contest. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where fans like you can win real money prizes for making predictions against fans like your friends and your family members, making real predictions on the games that you love so much. And you can win some real money prizes with the WinView app. So do what I do. Download the WinView app, challenge your friends, family members to different sports contests on the WinView app. Make sure you have yourself a good time and win yourself some money. Let me tell you about the great people at PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. No, it's not my freaky cousin, Mally. So this is the Italian side of the family. Freaky cousins on the Polish side of the family. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that, I'm looking forward to seeing my cousin today. No, not the freaky one. So there you go. Let's jump into the chat check and see how you fine people are doing. Good morning, Pete. Pete, still very concerned about Phillies pitching. Pete, I don't disagree. April, what's going on there, April? Glad to see your... Oh, saying what's up to Real Time. Real Time's new to the chat as of yesterday. Real Time and I talked when I was on the radio. Real Time, great to have you on here now, my friend. So welcome in. Shiloh, what's poppin', Shiloh? The first comment I have on my chat is Pete saying, still very concerned about pitching, Mark. I am as well, just so you guys know where my chat is starting off today. I apologize for everyone else that was before that. Real Time Shiloh, what's up? April, what's going on? Pitching is always a concern, no doubt. Phillies can't develop talent. Again, I detect no lies. Real Time, I'm surviving because I can't take potent stuff. My son, and on the other hand, poor baby. Oh, the allergy stuff. I have my allergy pills around here somewhere. But yeah, I try. I'm now on an allergy pill every day type of deal. That's my life now. And an occasional inhaler. That's where I'm at. Chris, this is apparently Howie Roseman saying this. Hey, Chris Coast was able to make a book from being in the minors for so long. Chris Coast, what was it, 33-year-old rookie? Came up and hit like 327 for the Phillies. It's incredible. Cecil, y'all see that snow squall yesterday? Cecil, that was bonkers. I saw it. First off, I got an alert on my phone. Did you guys get the alert on your phone? Snow squall. And I'm like, what the hell? First thing I thought of was Jim Cantori, weatherman extraordinaire for NBC, who had the Thunder Snow video. If you haven't seen Thunder Snow, when this program wraps up, folks, go ahead and beep up in YouTube and put in Thunder Snow, Jim Cantori, and just enjoy the hilarity. It's hilarious. Boom. Oh, my God. Fun fact, I once argued, this was probably the height of my arrogance in life, arguing with Jim Cantore about the weather. That's like arguing with Bernie Perron about goaltending. Like, just take the L, man. Speaking to me, not them, obviously. Just take the L. They know more than you. But I was all pissed off about the Eagles canceling that Sunday night game, and they played Tuesday night, Joe Webb game. Jim Cantore is like, well, you guys did the right thing by canceling that game. And I'm like, Jim, what do you know? Basically was my attitude. That's just to sum it up. Anyway. But yeah, snow squall. Snow squall sounds like a Sharknado type video. Like Tara Reid would star in Snow Squall. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like to me, at least. Where the hell did I leave off here? Kevin Smith, 33-year-old rookie. There you go. Cecil, just saying nuts. Kevin Smith, you have a signed copy of 33-year-old rookie? That's cool. Yeah, the snow squall, not to make a joke about the snow squall, the like 20,000 car pileup, whatever that was on I-81? I-80 in Pennsylvania, looked insane. And I saw people getting interviewed. They just looked terrified. They looked like they had all just been in a movie that they weren't expecting to be in all of a sudden. It was insane. The one guy is lucky he's alive. April, that was the attitude of a lot of those people. You're absolutely right. Kevin, Howie Roseman. That's very nice of you, real time. Thank you. Yes, they were pulling him all over the field. A lot of different players. And I'm asking that they don't do that with Bryson Stott. Fuji, what's going on? Oh, there was a guy narrating the wreckage video. I did not see that. I just saw the video on the old news. Bryce Harper calls the shots. Fuji, it certainly seems like it. Real time. That's dirty, man. That's dirty. Saying good morning to Alyssa like that. We don't need to point out her age every time. But Alyssa, once again, happy birthday. You know what? You're 30, Alyssa, but guess what? You know what Jim Lanham would say?
It's play on, dude.
There you go. Just keep playing. Fuji, Bryce Harper is supporting cast now. Yes, he certainly does have a supporting cast now. Michael Shane. Welcome, Michael Shane. I wish I was 21 or 30 or 22 or 38. There you go. You know what is weird? And these are the memes I identify most with. It's like the memes that say, I apologize to all the 30-year-olds who I thought were old as bleep when I was 17. Like, and I thought about that because, like, I remember, if you have an older sibling, you got to go to their events. They never go to yours. Whatever. I don't hold it against them. But you go to those events where everyone's older than you, but they're still kids, but they look like they're so much older. It's like when I was 17, I thought a 19-year-old was 50. Like, that's what it looked like to me. And those are the memes I identify with. Like, I apologize to everyone I called old when they were 30. Now that I'm 30, like that type of deal. I'm not 30. Real time. I'm going to be 40 in September. Like, you're going to be 40 in June. So happy birthday to you, in case I forget. In case I'm in London, not interviewing Dave. Happy birthday. April, real time, break out the Tiger Bomb. April, real time was playing some basketball with some young kids. Yeah, that's definitely different as you get older. Those injuries stay with you. That hamstring stays with you. That's why you go to Rothman Orthopedics. Dan, I'm pretty sure this is you. Howie, this is the Howie Roseman commenter. I think that's Howie Roseman. I think that Howie Roseman's comments were genius. That's hilarious. Real time saying, yeah, Howie thinks we're stupid. He also showed he's giving the media those, we signed our own, that counts as free agency dribble. Yeah, I kind of hate that. I hate that as much as when a trade deadline is approaching in a sport, let's just say baseball, for instance, and a guy who's been on the injured list is healthy all of a sudden around the trade deadline. Oh, well, we're getting Cole Hamels back, so that's like a trade deadline acquisition. No, it's not. You knew you were getting him back. The trick is to have him come back to a better team. Anyway, but well, technically that's true. Anyway, big downer vibes. What are we downer vibes? What are we talking about? Downer vibes. Al, what's going on? Oh, Howie's got big downer vibes. Absolutely. Talking about Howie Downer. Womp womp. You know, they never did catch that mad cow who caused all the disease. Wah, wah. Anyway. That'll start me down a rabbit hole we just don't have time for. Eagles have quality 3 selections in the first round. Mac, that is the easier way to say that. Eagles have a quantity of 3 selections in the first round. Now, that almost sounds British. That's what a British person would say. Well, actually, they have a quantity of 3 selections in the first round. Pick of Howie. Oh, this is great. You guys are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Love y'all. Let's see here. Just randomly booing Sealski. Did somebody explain that to real time? Okay, so basically, I have said many times that a lot of people on, especially Flyers Twitter, hates Mike Sealski. That then translated to the chat hating Sealski. I love Sealski. I think the chat loves Sealski, but I think they love to break Sealski's stones more than anything. I've known Mike Sealski for almost 20 years. Absolutely love that guy. For the record. But yeah, the chat enjoys breaking his balls. Mullet for Alvarado. Is it Al Pacino or Mark Farzy? Let's claw for every inch tonight. Let's bleep and go. Why Pacino? Is it because of the Godfather 3 reference? I'll try to give you my best. My Pacino, I think, is in no way, shape, or form on my Walken, on my Christopher Walken, or my Peacock, which, by the way, shout out to St. Peter's Peacocks for the amazing run. This is for you. That's for the Peacocks. That's Peacock Call for those that don't know. Dead on. Greatest impression over here of anything ever is my impression of a peacock. But here's my Christopher Walken. Here's my Al Pacino. I'll try to really nail this line for you guys. Ready? Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Terrible. Much better at Al Pacino's Scent of a Woman than anything. Let's see here. Bad? What's bad, man? That's even terrible. I'm off my game today, folks. I'm off my game Pacino impressions. Real time. Sixers beat the Bucks without Harden. That's true. Harden was on the bench. That was the game right before the All-Star break where Harden was out there with Tyrese Maxey saying, thank you for driving to the basket. My major takeaway from that game, aside from that play, George Niang started in that game, was 5 for 10 from beyond the arc. What? Yeah, he had an insane game. Joel Embiid went off for 42. No, Mark, it's not Dan Schwartz. It's now Mike Sealski. You know, the animal. That's great. Alyssa, retirement. What's that? Well, retirement is something our man Mike Cyber can help you with at destinationretirement.com, presenting sponsor of the Farzy Show. Phil, what's up, Phil? What's up, party peeps? What's up, Phil? Mike Sealski, PJ's producer Jim. Mally, Jim is called PJ, aka producer Jim. Mally, thank you for explaining. Mally, good morning to you in case I missed you. Mally, I know I hit you up in the chat with other things though. Retire. Yep. Real time is a retired cop in Army, now in school for his doctorate. That a guy. I didn't know you were doing that real time. Good for you, bud. PJ does. Listen, baseball talk is so much cooler in a British accent. Alyssa, it was you that said it. Nice. Real time says, calm down, Vince Vaughn. Very funny. Always enjoy Vince Vaughn. Real time. I don't know where we're going with that one. April, the bigger Mark gets, the more bots he gets. Mally, Aaronola is like the weed I buy every time it's different. Every time it's something different. All right, Mally, let me try to do that line justice. Aaronola is like the weed I buy every time it's something different. There we go. Farzy, I think it's a heads up for a snow squall. Oh, yeah. Farzy, thanks for the heads up. Sorry, Luigi. I told you, opening day, the week of opening day baseball, we'll get you a weather girl. This much I promise you, Luigi. Farzy and Farzi's sister used to babysit PJ. Okay, Farzy doesn't have a sister. Although I saw somebody reference Marcella. Oh, it was you, Luigi. Yeah, no, I don't have a sister. The freaky cousin now has 3 kids, I think. It's been a minute since I've seen her. The passion from UK Dave is contagious. You're absolutely right. Charlie, Farzy, when you go to Paris or Australia or wherever you're going for that wedding, are you going to see UK Dave? UK Dave. Probably not. Like I said, I wish I could, but that's probably not happening. Mally, Farzy only travels to places that have good weed. Don't let him fool you. I'm going to Pittsburgh this weekend for a wedding. I don't know if they have good weed or not. And if they did, I wouldn't be partaking. Pretty straight edge in that regard. April, Luigi, John Cheeseborough. What's up, John? What's popping, bud? April, Luigi, Sean, real time, all who I haven't acknowledged yet. Charge it to head and not heart. Good morning, humanoids. Good morning, John. I think you just about covered it. John says, my brain is still braining. I'm going to the corner because I literally just woke up. Good morning, John. Thanks for joining us. Dave literally brought stock VCR. What the hell is happening? Dave literally bought stock in VCRs when DVDs invention came out. Farzy in Amsterdam. Amsterdam was a good time, man. No, I'm telling you right now, Matt, Zoo Tamer. Amsterdam is awesome. I highly recommend Baba Boucher. What's up? If you guys ever go to Amsterdam, I highly recommend the Heineken beer tour. The Heineken beer tour, going to the brewery, is awesome. It's basically a bar crawl within a museum. When you go in there, you buy your ticket and they give you 3 wooden coins. And I was like, oh, I guess these are cool souvenirs. Fine. You walk a little bit and then you hear like a murmur and you turn a corner and it's like a full-blown bar in the middle of the museum. And you put down a coin, they give you a pint of Heineken. And this is like the real Heineken. This isn't like the U.S. stuff that's like they knocked off the alcohol level maybe a little bit. This is the fresh stuff. And you have a beer, you're like, oh, that was fun. And then you have 2 more tokens. You're like, well, I guess this only means I'm getting a couple more beers. You walk a little bit, there's another bar. You walk a little bit, there's another bar. And then at the end of the tour, there's another bar where they don't give a damn anymore. They're just giving you beer. It's awesome. And I'm not a big beer guy, but that was an awesome time. I'm more of a whiskey man myself. Baba Boucher, good morning. Dan, the annoyance. Now has changed his name again. Dan, welcome back. Nice to have you on the show. One day, can Farzy do the whole chat check as walking? John, that would be crazy to do a chat all is walking. Nuts. There you go. Hope Chris Walk goes incognito, disappears. Hey, real quick, before I move on to our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com, I do want to tell you guys this. I wanted to give you guys a leg up on everybody else because we're making this announcement a little bit later today, but I'm going to make it to you, our live audience, and our chat check regulars. I wanted to tell you guys this. We are giving away Phillies opening day tickets. We're going to be releasing exactly how that's going to go down a little bit later today, so keep your eyes peeled to our social media platforms for that, as well as our YouTube channel. But we, the Farzy Show, Buzz Sports and Entertainment, we are going to be giving away Phillies opening day tickets. So if you want to win tickets, stay tuned to our social media platforms as well as our YouTube page. We'll let you know how you guys can do that. But I just want to give you guys a heads up. That video will be dropping a little bit later today, so all you guys will have a chance to win Phillies opening day tickets. How awesome is that? Let's jump into, yes, I made a Tara Reid reference earlier in the show. You're welcome. Who hit me up on that? Oh, Sean, you're very kind. I appreciate that. You're very kind on my very kind of my Al Pacino impression. Farzy looks like a young Rob Schneider? Really? Huh. Never got that. Wait, who's referencing Spaceballs? Spaceballs is a phenomenal picture. Did that. Yeah, opening day, bro. That's right, Matt. Let's get to our morning rush officially. Brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Sixers, 7 o'clock tip-off against the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. 1.5-point favorites are the 76ers. I need to see James Harden and Joel Embiid go off tonight. I need a dominant performance tonight. I need to see Tyrese Maxey dominate tonight. I need the big four to be the big four tonight. That includes Tobias Harris. I need George Niang to hit me a couple of threes off the bench tonight. I need Danny Green to give me some more defense and maybe hit a couple of threes as well. That'd be nice. I like those 2 threes that he missed in one possession the other day. That was great against the Suns. That was adorable. But that's what I want to see tonight against the Bucks. Take it to them, get themselves a victory, and we'll all be better people tomorrow morning. John, nobody knows what the hell's going on. I'll tell you that much. Ladies and gentlemen, always great catching up with you. Always great talking sports with you. Thanks to Dan Shaw joining us from Phillies UK. My thanks, producer Jim, for joining for producing the show, doing a phenomenal job as per usual. It's a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Be back with you guys tomorrow, hopefully talking about a 76ers victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to yous on Wednesday. Take it easy. Bye.